sickness and disease has developed. Okay? And so with that, again, we've got to address what we're putting into the bucket. Okay? We've got to address that. We also got to help get this stuff out of our bucket, out of our bodies. Okay? And that's really what we're going to dive into now. Is with that being said, again, what can fill the bucket, okay, are those top toxins. Also with that, chronic stress, another way to, processed foods, other examples, overuse of antibiotic, environmental toxins, frequent use of, NSAIDs, food sensitivities. Again, it increases, what's in your bucket, okay? And here are signs, okay, of toxicity. These are some very common signs and symptoms of toxicity. Fatigue, difficulty losing weight, difficulty concentrating, memory problems, confusion, hormone imbalance, muscle aches, numbness, tingling, digestive concerns, all sorts, bloating, gas, constipation, diarrhea, abdominal pain, skin rashes, eczema, trouble sleeping, headaches, dizziness, frequent infections or viruses. Okay, people that are frequently sick, one sickness after another sickness after another sickness, there is a toxicity component. Okay, mood swings, instability, sinus problems, shortness of breath, numbness and tingling. Curious, anybody in here experience any of those?
All of the above.
All of them, yeah.
So I'm raising my hand, yeah. So guess what that means? That we're all toxic. We have some level of toxicity in our body. And we've got to come to the reality that that's a fact. Okay? That is the absolute fact. Some of us, our toxicity levels are greater than other of us. Okay? But absolutely every single one of us is toxic. Okay? And so what we need to do is really reduce that toxicity. Okay? And with that, the first place that starts is truly just reducing your exposure. Okay? It's really pretty simple. Some simple things that you can do is just start reducing your exposure to these things. Like food. What I would say, again, I'm going to recommend everyone read. Okay, you guys have it. The Align Your Health book, read it. Okay? Read it. The advanced plan, the core plan, critical. There's a whole chapter on, reducing toxins, so read it, okay? But with that, I'll put it simply, one of the best things that you can do to reduce toxin is change your meats. Switch to grass-fed, wild fish, cage-free chicken, things of that nature, okay? Water, okay? Use reverse osmosis water, okay, or filtered water. Do something. And ideally, if you could do, and I'll say, well, drinking water is the first place to start. Absolutely. Okay, start with drinking water. Okay, but I'll say one thing that we have in our house. We have a whole house filtration system that filters all the water into all of the showers, everything like that. Okay. To get the chloramines, the pharmaceuticals that are in our water supply. And in fact, there's I forgot to read it off at the front, at the beginning, is that USA Today reports average public water contaminated with over 500 chemicals. So that's always nice. And so then with that, cookware, something I would recommend, stainless steel, Stay away from the non-stick. Teflon, of course, is awful. Cast iron, okay. Ceramic. Those are some personal care products, clean products. I would go to EWG.org, Environmental Working Group, and you can see how your personal care products are ranking as far as toxicity standpoint. Okay, there's some great companies out there as far as some personal care products. I will even admit I use them too. Jen, Beauty Counter is a great has cosmetics, has a full line, and I know that there's several people that use it as well. And then cleaning products, really. I'd encourage you to switch out some cleaning products. Norwex is a great way to go, or vinegar, things like that. And again, I'm going to encourage you not to try and tackle all of these all at once. Pick one or two. What's the biggest one for you, and start addressing it. Reduce pharmaceutical intake. Again, when it comes to pharmaceuticals. They all have side effects, okay? So there is absolutely a toxicity, component to it. Air quality, again, and I will say this, I will be fully transparent with you. This is actually one of the things that we need to do in our house is get a whole air or inside air filtration system. We have not taken that step yet. That's again, I'm just letting you know I'm on this journey too. We're constantly looking at things. And mold is another thing. Is if there is any smell of mustiness in your house, okay, that is sign, like in the crawl space or in the basement or in the bathroom, or I hate to tell you, but that's signs that there's a mold issue. There's something brewing, there's something growing, and that's never good. Okay, if there is, need to investigate that. Need to look into that. Heavy metals. Consider going to a dentist again. If there's amalgams and things like that, a holistic dentist. And so again, eliminate your exposures to these things, okay? And one thing that we do, and I'll say we're not 100% of the time, but we really try and do it, I'll say we do pretty good, is turn off our Wi-Fi at night, okay? So we're not just bathing, in the Wi-Fi, 24 hours a day, okay? And some of you maybe wonder or frustrated why we don't have Wi-Fi in the office. That, frankly, that's one reason, is that to reduce the EMF exposure.
So turn it off on your phone or turn your router off?
Turn your router off.
And put your phone in airplane mode if you can.
Put your phone in airplane mode. Again, I understand that
if you can.
There can be some, if that's the only phone you have, or the only that's not going to work. But those are some simple things that you can do to reduce exposure. Okay, and then so those things. And then here's the next step. So that's in reducing the toxicity. The first step is just reduce the exposure, eliminate the exposure. If you can. Okay. The next step for some people, okay, if necessary, if needed, is to do some testing. Okay, to identify, hey, specifically what toxins are in your body, and how do we best target that to get that out, okay? And really the total toxic burden test by Vibrant America, phenomenal, because it is incredibly extensive, but to put it simply, it's looking at mold, mycotoxins, heavy metals, environmental toxins. Not to bore you, but again, I say it's incredibly extensive. These are all the mycotoxins or molds that it's looking at. All the heavy metals, okay, all the environmental toxins, you know, from pesticides to herbicides, you know, glyphosate to, you know, to parabens. Again, it's just looking at all the different, you know, again, environmental toxins, heavy metals, you know, molds that really can wreak havoc on our body, you know, and it just gives us great insight so we can target those. You know, again, I'll say it this way: is this this isn't, you know, for everyone, okay? But you know, with that being said, for those people that are, you know, that have some issues, this really helps us get specific, okay? And then with that, the million-dollar question is, so yes, we all recognize that we're all toxic, right? Okay? Okay? We can absolutely, we can all reduce our exposure, okay, by making some simple changes, okay? If necessary, if we need to do some testing, we can, you know, we can do that. You know, talk to me if you'd like. But really, what want to dive into now is really how to get the toxins out. So we're all toxic. Now we need to really address getting the toxins out. And with that, a great place to start, okay, I'll say it this way, a great place to start is the 15-day detox. Okay? And I know that we have a couple people in here that are on the 15-day detox right now. Yes, absolutely. And how's it going?
Going great.
Going great?
And we only have 3 days to go.
3 days to go? Awesome, awesome. In fact, that's awesome. It's interesting, I was, you know, at an adjustment earlier this morning, had a patient, and she and her husband, she goes, yeah, we're finishing up the detox, the 15-day detox once again. She goes, yeah, this is my 12th time doing it. So her and her husband, every, you know, a couple times a year. Yeah,
Twice a year.
Twice a year, a couple
Caroline?
times a year, Caroline.
Yeah.
Twice a year, they just do the detox, you know.
And she's been a patient for
And she's been a
almost 8
patient
years,
for
probably.
years, you know. And what's the reason I like the 15-day detox, you know, so much, because it's multifaceted. Okay, the reason I like the 15-day detox, because I'll put it to you like this. This is what is included in the 15-day detox. Okay, so absolutely there is a detox component. Okay, it has the detox system. It gets the so there's two parts of the detox system. There's a cell detox and a body detox. Okay, so the cell detox really helps get the junk out of the cells. Okay, the body detox then binds those toxins that are out of the cells and then binds it to get it out of the body. Okay, so there's that component. Okay, then there's also again, as your toxic burden increases or your toxic load increases, like the bucket I've shown, as that level increases, what also increases is inflammation. Okay, and so with that, daily defense is used to its main active ingredient is curcumin. Okay, and it's one of the most potent anti-inflammatories to really help reduce inflammation. Okay, and then also always in addressing toxicity and, or should I say, always helping the immune system or supporting the immune system is good in the detoxification process, and vitamin D3 is a part of the 15-day detox. So with that being said, is that on this 15-day detox, there's also, okay, you know, smoothie. It could. My preference is bone broth. Okay, but absolutely can do, you know, perfect plant protein, or you can do, you know, whey protein. My preference is the bone broth. Okay, as well as Max Greens. Okay, Max Greens. It's a green drink. You know, organic greens and fruit blend. It has an organic immunity blend, prebiotics. And probiotic, you know, blend. But the thing I really like about the 15-day detox is that it's a tiered system, okay? In that you ramp up, okay? You start taking, okay, 2 in the morning and then 2 at night for day 1 through 3, okay? Day 4 through 6, you increase, okay? You know, again, you increase and then you decrease. So it's a tiered system that really just helps the detoxification process. But also one of the things I really like about the detox system is that the smoothies, you do 2 smoothies, okay, twice a day. Okay, so you do, excuse me, let me say that again. You do a smoothie twice a day. Okay, so this is just a great way to get in the habit of changing your eating habits. Okay, with that, I have done the 15-day detox. I have done it multiple times. I've even done it for 30 days in a row. It's great. But one of the things I really like about the 15-day detox is how it really helps you change your eating habits. Okay, so again, you're doing 2 smoothies, okay, a day. Ideally, I would say breakfast and lunch. I found that to be best for me. I would make 1 smoothie in the morning. I would drink half of it at breakfast, and I would drink the other half at lunch. And then with that at home, I would come home, and Jen would, or we would have a advanced plan meal, okay? And that advanced plan meal, it's, you know, again, it's all about reducing the toxic load, the toxic burden, okay? So that right there is just a great way to reduce toxicity. If you want more details about the 15-day detox, see Jen. We have a whole, you know, description of it and how, I mean, we have it all lined out. Was it pretty easy to follow?
Super easy to follow, yeah, it was great.
You know,
Very good.
and so, you know, with that, here's the form. I mean, it just lays it day 1 through 3, days 4 through 6, what to expect, you know, days 7 through 9, 10 through 12, 13 through 15. So again, really quite simple, okay? But it's so very effective. You know, here's the thing, is that when we look at, again, the 15-day detox, great place to start. Just getting, yes?
I just wanted to reiterate that something that I loved about it when we first started. You know, we always lived healthy, but when we opened this clinic, we really made even a more drastic shift than we used to with eating. And I was kind of overwhelmed by the advanced plan at first. I kind of thought if we were buying mostly organic, we were good, but we were still eating pasta and not very often, but like, you know, I was just making sure I was buying organic, but the same foods that I grew up on, you know. So for me, the advanced plan was a little overwhelming at first. What's so nice about the 15-day cleanse, and we've done it for 30 days multiple times, but I only had to think about 1 meal a day because the smoothies were your other 2 meals, you know. And there were days that I had my lunch was real food because I was hungry or whatever. And you can have snacks and things. It's not a starvation, but we've had people lose good amounts of weight in those 15 days just because they're dropping the toxins, changing the way they're eating. It is a really great just kind of intro plan. There was something else I was going to say, but I don't recall what it is right now. But just to reiterate, it is 2 of your meals every day.
So that's the thing about it, is absolutely 2 meals a day, and then all, you know, the supplements to really help in the detoxification process. Again, just a great way to get into the habit of eating well, so that you can not just have it be a diet, okay? Because that's not what it's all about. It's all about, you know, creating a lifestyle, to, you know, have a lifestyle that is all about reducing toxicity. You know?
But what I was getting at, I'm sorry, that I'm just remembering, is it made it a lot easier to then continue to eat that way, right? Because we had 15 new meals that we knew we liked, right? And we also knew snacks. We still pretty much do a smoothie a day, you know, and our kids do smoothies, so that's how we get all the vitamins in them. But hopefully that was helpful.
And so, you know, here's the thing is that, you know, I'm just curious here. Who has done detoxes in the past? You know, some? Okay. With that, you know, one thing I hear, and you know, with several people, okay, I've heard it, or should I say, I've heard it quite a bit, okay, is that, I've actually done detoxes in the past, and I really haven't seen great results, okay, or there's been minimal results, okay? And it actually is something that has baffled me, and I'm like, why? I mean, we're so bombarded by toxins. We live in a toxic sludge. We all are toxic. Why is it that some people do great with a detox, and others they get minimal results with a detox? But I know that they're toxic. I know that they have toxicity issues going. And for the longest time, I was baffled. I was and I'll say it this way is that again, in my learning over the past year or two, I've actually come across something that I think explains a lot, okay, of why that can be. And with that, for people that have done detoxes in the past with minimal results, but with that, they are showing all sorts of symptoms of toxicity, okay? What I've learned is that parasites are a real issue, for them, and we really need to look at it, okay? Because I just want to kind of go through the symptoms of parasites, okay? And that, again, it's an exhaustive list, so I just want to make sure I don't miss any. Constipation, gas or bloating, diarrhea, pain or aches in the back joints or muscles, irritable bowel syndrome, allergies, increased appetite, itchy ears, nose or anus, nervousness or grumpiness, chronic fatigue, apathy, various skin problems, teeth grinding or clenching, anemia, excess weight, forgetfulness, vision problems, problems with sleeping. Okay? With that being said, I will say it this way, is that I did a parasite cleanse in December, okay? And I will say I was very pleased with what I experienced and what I noticed. Here's the thing is, I don't know if any of you can relate, but oftentimes, and I'll say, now that I think back, again, in my learning, I didn't put the pieces together, but oftentimes there are certain times of the month where I'd go to sleep, I could go to sleep, no problem, okay, go to sleep, no problem, but come like 2 o'clock at night, or in the morning, I would wake up and I would be up, like there was no going to sleep, like, and I'm like, what, and it was like that every month, but it was only for a few days, but it was like every month that would happen. And I didn't know what was going on. I thought it was just, stress, or chalk it up to, again, I wasn't sure. And with that being said, another thing that I have noticed, so my sleep has been a lot better. Okay, like waking up in the middle of the night and being up, doing so much better. Not to say I'm sleeping perfect, there are still some times, but it's not the 2 o'clock in the morning and then up the rest of the night. Okay, I've also noticed, not that I had brain fog, okay, but it's definitely better clarity of thought. Okay, just better clearing, just clearer thinking. More energy. I wake up and I'm ready to go. Before it was like, man, I've got to work myself. Again, just some of the things that I've noticed since doing it in December. Okay. With that, in fact, I'm so pleased with what I saw that I'm going to actually do it again. I start tomorrow. Okay. So I'm going to do it in January. But the thing about it is that, and this is interesting, and just gonna kind of just let you know that what I found, and I'm just putting connections, okay, is that parasite activity increases with the full moon. so with that, I was like, after my learning, I was like, huh, that's why I would have a few nights of, and so again, just something to think about. If that's of interest, let's talk about it. But I will say it this way: is that if you are like, yeah, that sounds like me. I want to do the parasite cleanse. There's certain dates that you have to do it, because we want to take advantage of the full moon to, optimize the effectiveness. So we'd want to look at doing that in February, if that's of interest to you. I'll say it this way, is if you're really wanting to really dig in and really start detoxing, hey, we are, what is it, January 13th? Okay, so you would have, easily 15 days before the parasite, cleanse started on February, I think it's 4th or 5th. And with that, just a great way to start this new year. But anyways, again, there's protocols based off the testing for mold, for heavy metals, for environmental toxins, and really resetting the liver as well. All based off the testing. Again, it's not for everyone, but with that being said, for those people that are curious, come and see me, later, or at an adjustment, we can talk about that. So with that being said, is that one thing I do want to just kind of finish off on is that I will say it this way, is that I saw when I went over the signs of toxicity, the fatigue, the difficulty losing weight, just those signs, that there's a lot of shaking of heads, like, yeah, I can relate. And so with that being said, I'm going to just say, encourage you to do something, okay? Do something about it. Take a step, information, okay? Information without action really is useless, okay? So I just encourage you to take a step, do something, and imagine, imagine if you had more energy, if you were able to lose weight, if you, were able to sleep better, if you didn't have, the reoccurring infections, things like that. How improved your quality of life would be. And truly, that's what this is about, really helping you take a step to improve your quality of life. And that's what it's all about. And then, with that, imagine, not only your, life improving, okay, by reducing the toxic, burden, the toxic load, okay, but also you started to let others know what you're noticing, okay, and telling them what you're doing, okay, and really how that can have an impact on those people that you care about. It can create a ripple effect. It could be people, that you work with. It could be people at church. It could be people like at baseball or football, or like it could be, and with that, you can have a ripple effect and really have an impact on changing the health, okay, of those people that you care about, okay? And so, with that, I just ask that you take a step. I ask that you also, just, tell others, okay, what you're learning, and with that, because it can have an impact on their life, okay. With that, invite them to the next, workshop. We're going to be doing a workshop end of February, first part of March, something like that. I think I'm still looking at the topic, but I'm considering a immunity workshop. Okay, and I think that would be very beneficial amongst the world that we're living in. Okay, and so with that, on that note, there is an immunity bundle that I recommend, just with everything that's going on in our world. Just has some potent supplements that really can help with what's going on in our world, okay? So vitamin C, vitamin D, NAC, zinc, quercetin. This is just a great daily immune support. This is if you're actively, fighting something. This is vitamin A, echinacea, zinc, elderberry. Just really helpful if you're actively fighting something. And then some higher doses of vitamin C and vitamin D. That's what's in our immunity bundle. Really recommend that for anyone. I'll say it this way. I take the OrthoImmune just with what's going on in our world. I can't afford, I'll be really, really clear, I can't afford to get sick. And so with that, I am doing all sorts of things to keep my immune system functioning, optimally. And so with that, again, just encourage you to act. Okay, take action. Action changes things. For those that of you that are guests, have never had your spine nervous system checked, I encourage you to get it checked. See Jen; she can get you taken care of. First 3 visits, 99 typically it's $225. So it's super simple. But then with that, again, just to recap, reduce your exposure. If necessary, if we need to look at testing, we can test. But do something to help that toxic burden. Okay, the 15-day detox, parasite, whatever it be. Okay, do something. Take action. Okay. So with that being said, we are finished. One thing that I do want to mention is that all products, today are 10 to 15% off. Okay, today only.
We also have the functional medicine items on sale if you're part of Dr. Ryan's testing and functional medicine program. Those items are also included. They're just on a different form because most patients don't utilize those until they've had the test done. But I do have those forms this time. Yes, ma'am.
And
I just filled it in.
yeah, so if you guys are curious about the testing, come and see me in an adjustment or afterwards, and we can discuss more. But with that being said, again, take action. Do something as far as reducing that toxic burden, critical to your health.
Is there a testing just for the parasites or that you recommend?
So, with that, the testing is so unreliable. Okay, I do a whole stool test, but I am finding that that as far as the let me say it this way, is that any company that I have, or anybody that really addresses parasites, they all have said the testing is so unreliable that it doesn't often show up. So some stool tests that I have run absolutely shows that there's parasites.